South Africa's economy contracted by a seasonally adjusted 1.5% quarter-on-quarter. The slump is attributed to the July unrest and tougher lockdown restrictions during the COVID-19 third wave. So in its latest GDP report, Stats SA says the economy is now 3.1% smaller than it was before the coronavirus pandemic. Newzroom Afrika's Pelane has more.
Statistician General Risenga Maluleke says the largest drops in the third quarter were in the agriculture sector, which fell by 13.6%. Trade followed suit with a decline of 5.5% and manufacturing slumping down by 4.2%. The July unrest and the strict restrictions of the lockdown fueled contraction of the economy down by 1.5%.
Both import and exports contracted, but one thing we should understand is that when there is lockdown and the level of lockdown that we experienced largely in the third quarter restricted movements of exports, so goods could not be sent out as much as goods could not easily move in. As we know, many nations still are hesitant to get movements of goods, especially those that come by air to come through. Because if you look, when there is a lockdown, when there are goods that come by ship, it's still even a lot more better because they spend a lot more time in the sea, 14 days from the likes of China. So by then you have shaken off any potential of a virus. But those that come by air, that have to fly overnight, there hasn't been much movement.
Maluleke explains how the other sectors fared and what led to the recent contraction of our economy. Apart from the violent riots which left more than 300 people dead, the country was also in the grip of COVID-19 related lockdown restrictions, while stage 2 load shedding also made a return in the month of July. Other notable economic data points include the fact that investments were also flat, having grown by 0 percentage points between the second and the third quarter.
On the side of agriculture, and indeed this is the point that was being said now of agriculture, where it has grown about 13.6% in the negative, with a contribution of negative 0.4 percentage points. And we know that in the poultry and in the piggery, there was a decline, particularly in those areas, but also in terms of field crops, because there are farms that were burned down around the July unrest. But let us look at trade as well, which had actually the biggest contribution in the negative. It contributed negative 0.7 percentage points. And in the process, it went on the negative growth of about 5.5%. And we know that the July unrest did affect the shops and the warehouses, and that is what we also see in the trade environment.
The finance sector, which expanded by 1.2%, is South Africa's largest industry, accounting for 24% of the economy, while household financial consumption expenditure slumped at minus 2.4%. There's been a decrease in investment in 4 asset types in quarter 3, including machinery and equipment and in residential buildings. For Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405, I'm Pelane in Pretoria.